What if some of the most valuable artworks in history simply vanished? No fire, no theft report, no trail, just gone. Among the many mysteries that surround the life of Vincent van Gogh, the tortured genius of post-impressionist art, one question remains strangely overlooked. Where are his missing paintings? Vincent van Gogh created over 2,100 artworks in a little over a decade, nearly 900 of which were oil paintings. Yet today, art historians and collectors estimate that at least 85 of these works are missing. Some vanished from private collections, some disappeared during wars, and others were never documented again after leaving Van Gogh's hands. But how does a painting by one of the world's most celebrated artists simply disappear? Let's go back to the late 19th century. Van Gogh's paintings, now worth hundreds of millions, were not always appreciated in his lifetime. In fact, during his short life of 37 years, Vincent sold only one painting. Most of his works remained with his brother, Theo, or were left in studios and rented rooms he couldn't afford. When Vincent died in 1890, Theo followed him just 6 months later. With both brothers gone, the collection passed to Theo's widow, Johanna van Gogh Bonger. She played a crucial role in promoting Vincent's legacy, organizing exhibitions and carefully selling some of his works to collectors and galleries. But not all were sold. Some were lost during transportation. Others were traded without documentation. Some were given away to friends or art dealers who never preserved them. And some may have been destroyed, either by accident or out of ignorance. One of the most baffling cases is The Painter on the Road to Tarascon. Painted in 1888, it showed Van Gogh in his working clothes, walking along a sun-drenched path carrying his painting equipment. This was one of the few self-portraits where he depicted himself from a distance, a rare and important work. This painting was housed in the Kaiser Friedrich Museum in Magdeburg, Germany, before World War II. When the Allied forces began bombing German cities, thousands of artworks were moved to underground bunkers for protection, including Van Gogh's piece. But after the war ended, The Painter on the Road to Tarascon was never seen again. The German government declared it destroyed by fire in 1945. But not everyone is convinced. Some experts believe it might have been looted by Nazi officials and transported through secret routes to private collections. There are even rumors that it resurfaced in Eastern Europe in the 1960s, but the trail quickly went cold. Then there's Vase with 5 sunflowers, painted in 1888 during Van Gogh's stay in Arles. Not to be confused with his more famous sunflowers, this version was part of the same creative burst. It ended up in a Japanese collection owned by the Yasuda Insurance Company in Tokyo. During World War II, Tokyo faced devastating air raids. Yasuda's collection, including Vase with 5 sunflowers, was reportedly destroyed in a fire in 1945. But no photographs of the painting survived. We only know of it through written descriptions and a few sketches. Was it truly burned, or did it quietly move into the hands of someone who recognized its value? Another mystery surrounds an unnamed landscape that Van Gogh is believed to have painted in 1882. It was recorded in a letter to Theo, described in detail, yet no physical trace of it exists today. Letters between the Van Gogh brothers often included discussions of specific paintings, their subjects, colors, moods, but many of these referenced works have never been located. It's as if they were swallowed by time. One theory suggests that some of Van Gogh's early paintings were painted over. He was poor and couldn't always afford fresh canvas, so he often reused them. In fact, X-rays and infrared scans of several Van Gogh paintings have revealed hidden works underneath. Completely different subjects painted below the visible layer. This raises a chilling question. How many missing Van Gogh paintings are actually hiding beneath his more famous masterpieces? And then there's the human factor. After Van Gogh's death, his works were not considered valuable. Several were stored in barns, attics, or even used to cover holes in walls. A few were gifted to friends who didn't preserve them. There's even a rumor, though unconfirmed, that some early Van Goghs were tossed out by a relative of Theo who believed they were worthless, or worse, embarrassing. It wasn't until the 1920s and 30s that his art began to gain true recognition, but by then, some works were already lost forever. The art market today places astronomical value on Van Gogh's works. In 1990, his painting Portrait of Dr. Gachet sold for $82.5 million, which would be well over $170 million today. With such high stakes, even a rumor of a missing painting can spark international interest. Interpol and the FBI have files on stolen or missing Van Gogh pieces. Private collectors sometimes hold works anonymously, and occasionally a lost painting reemerges, authenticated by experts after decades in the shadows. One such case happened in 2013, when Sunset at Montmajour, painted in 1888, was authenticated after being hidden away in a Norwegian attic for over 100 years. Its owners had thought it was a fake, but a team of art historians using letters, chemical analysis, and brushstroke comparisons proved it was genuine. If that painting could resurface after a century, could others be waiting in forgotten storage rooms behind false walls, or buried in personal collections passed down through generations? The question remains open and haunting. Where are Vincent van Gogh's missing paintings? Are they truly destroyed, or simply waiting to be discovered again? As long as these mysteries persist, the story of Van Gogh remains incomplete. His work, once dismissed as the chaotic scribbles of a madman, is now seen as the voice of genius, a voice still echoing through brushstrokes we have yet to find.